So hi everyone, very warm welcome to this new learning session on SAP Cloud Platform Integration. So I think we will just revise it what we have learned yesterday, then what are the we have plans for today. Okay, so right now yesterday we have started with this new journey of our cloud platform integration. So these were the few specific questions we discussed, which people has asked me initially. Okay, so right now I think the next important point here is we have talked about some kinds of different kind of a use cases. We have discussed about one business use case where we have talked about one lead management system, which is your HubSpot. Then we do have one sales management system in which right now your all the process happens from like your opportunity quote, and then your CPQ system, which is your calendars, which is for your giving the exact or a code to customer, and then how in S4 system your sales order billing and delivery process happens. So right now all were these different systems. So we have shown why do we need integration in a place so that complete business can run. So these were the different business use case we have talked. So right now in Sony we have used how with the help of a social media we can connect the data into a service cloud, and then might be your FSM. Might be again it can go to your S4 for your service contract. So it all depends on the business use case. But holistically, I just try to make a point that why first of all in this particular business complex world we do need integration. Okay. After that, we were just talking about what are the different SAP cloud strategies. Okay, so why CPI is kind of a more strategic to this SAP also. Okay, so there are four important pillars we have discussed. So we have discussed about faster deployment, access to innovation, your deployment configuration and integration part, and the last important thing was your lower total cost of ownership and faster time to value. So these were the important pillars we have talked in our yesterday session. Okay, then I gave you one food for thought questions, that in case right now, let's assume that we have on-premise systems, might be your human capital management, your ERP or your CRM, and all are SAP systems only on-premise. So I'm not just talking about cloud or something. I'm just talking about pure on-premise system. So why we cannot have a direct point-to-point integrations between these different systems? So this was the question I have asked yesterday. Okay, so might be definitely I know people would have thought about it. So because that's quite critical also. Okay, so just one quick question here before getting into it, or before starting from here for our next session. Does anyone has any question? Because I have received one yesterday question uh, that might I can discuss it in case any one of you who are available online or have joined this. In case if you do have any questions, put into a chat box. Okay, I'll just wait for a minute. After that, whatever the question I have it, I'll go through that. Okay. I don't think so anyone has any question as such because my people would have typed it quickly. So right now only one questions I have received, which was regarding when soon can we get our trial access or a system access. Okay, so right now these are the trial free access. So for me it's very easy. Just to show might be currently only that how you can easily subscribe for your, or how you can easily start with your cloud platform integration tool. Okay, how can you start for your services? I have might have documented also a lot of other things in this particular document, but right now the point is as such people don't know about even cloud platform. What is exactly is a cloud platform? What are the different environments we have? What is a foundry? How it's different from your Neo? Then how to assign roles, user, authentication services, and much more. What exactly is the cockpit we do have in a cloud platform? So what exactly is the meaning of SAP cloud platform? So right now we do have a lot of questions in terms of, first of all, we have to understand what exactly is your SAP cloud platform. Okay, so this is very important for you guys, that first you have to start from Step number one, don't just jump into your integration part that okay, my mm, mm, important aim is to learn how to use CPI. I think you should start from your first part. What exactly is a cloud platform, environments, and how we can start with. So maybe you have to just hold um, your run paddle or your gaze. We might come to that particular topic eventually, might be in the next, or might be we can start by today also if lucky, if we try to complete the use cases. But definitely you have to pause it up. I'll once I give the understanding of what exactly is a cloud platform, how does it look like, then for you it will be easy. Because the people previously when we used to teach on-premise, that was a different, because across tech some things were very common. Because in case you were starting first time with this cloud platform, things would be little different. How exactly has SAP clubbed all the different services in cloud platform? It's not just about integration. You have so many of runtime environment, databases, IoT, intelligent apps, so many things we do have it here. So it's quite different. And whenever I just give you a more kind of introduction to your SAP cloud platform, I definitely think so. It will be helpful because in the coming future, cloud platform will be used frequently as a platform as a services. Okay, in any time in case people has to use SAP application on any on-premise IoT intelligent apps, any other things, cloud platform would be a very important place, and there are quite good number of flexibility we have it. So for your getting a trial access, very clear, please just a request, just wait for it. Might be in the next session I'll be able to help you out with that particular bit. Okay, so right now I see. Okay, I think I get some answers. Security concerns, your better scalability, don't have better scalability. Okay, so I think I see some options. I'm sure it is might be to this particular same bit, your questions, but that's particular is fine. So let me just do one thing. Okay, so right now I do see options. So right now let's just start with the questions what I have asked yesterday, that why we cannot have a point-to-point integration. Because from there I really want you to adapt into the mindset of an integration developer. Okay, not as an application. You have to have that also, but as an integration developer. So whatever the answers you have, just put into a chat box. Might be I can go and spell it up for other people. So right now, first of all, let me know the reasons why we can have point-to-point integrations. If I say yes, it's possible, because I can show you in this particular system. Without CPI, I can make a endpoint call of S4 into your cloud application, and it will work fine. Okay, so right now, in case if anyone has the reasons that we can do it, what are the plus side of it? Anyone has it? Just put it into a chat box. So right now I see pretty much answer which says that all this particular point to point integration is not correct. Okay, or it's not feasible. So what are the different points I do have it? Okay, so might be I can just say I will write it. Okay, so right now again, so there are some different points. Might we'll just write it whatever the people are putting in the chat box, and then might we can just go one by one. So right now these are the different points, and people have suggested into a chat box. Apart from it, do we have any other points, any other points you think. And trust me, it's very important that you have to think. It is not just if I have to give you some kind of a key points, you have to take it up. Okay, so right now just tell me any other points you think, any other points. Might be it can be a lame also, you are putting in chat box, so how does it matter? First of all, so whatever the point you have, just put into a chat box, because I really want to see what kind of a mindset currently you have it and where I can take it in coming 1 or 2 months of time. Okay, so right now there is one more point, which is your data manipulation. Makes sense? Okay, so right now this is one again new point I have got it, so which is your data manipulation. Okay, so right now, okay, I have got this particular different point. So now service orchestration, center system to communicate from different system, yes, makes point. So yes, there are, I think I'm getting that kind of a different response, which is very much required. So yes, I think right now we do have some kind of understanding. So right now let me just take an example of this particular same scenario. So when I say this, all the systems are interlinked with each other. So let's say communication is possible. So yes, in case if someone asks you that P2P communication is possible, so definitely yes. And I am 102% sure that for a system like your currently C4HANA sales or with your S4, you can have a point-to-point call. So that's very much easy. That in case if you have to have direct connections, can you make a call? So yes, that's very easy. But right now, just think of a case that we do have some kind of a disadvantages, because right now these systems are very tightly coupled. Okay, because right now these systems are talking directly to each other, because HCM is talking to CRM, CRM is talking to ERP, and ERP is talking to HCM. Right now, think of a case if one of the component gets upgraded. Okay, if one of the components get upgraded, so might be it will be pretty much required for other components to make sure they are also upgraded. Okay, so in case if this kind of task comes up, so whatever the communication is happening will go for a toss. Whatever the communication, we do have it. That's the first thing in case if some kind of grade happens. Second point is in case of your security. Security is very critical to have communication between these different systems. So right now we are talking about on-premise, so that's different. In case if you are in, having a communication onto a cloud, you are exposing your data or you are making a call through HTTPS internet, which can be easily manipulated. So security is definitely one big concern. I think all the points which are mentioned, it's amazingly correct. Okay, so right now the next point is your scalability part. So right now let's think of a case. In case if we have to scale this particular system, might be your ERP. Let's say in case if I have to scale this up. So in case if you have complex large number of systems, so what exactly problem will be? You have to think about all other different systems. Your CRM, your HCM, might be what not other systems you have it. So you have to have very holistic pictures about your entire landscape, and you have to make sure that in case if one of the systems get upgraded, you have to take care about other systems. So it will be very much difficult to scale your systems. Okay, so decoupling, I hope everyone gets, because right now it will be very difficult to decouple also in case if they're very tightly integrated. In case might be some kind of upgrade or some new features get added, so we have to make sure that all the systems are upgraded, adapted, whatever the right what you have right now. Okay, and one more important thing might be in case we will go to some kind of a new words. Okay, so right now let's say point to point integration pattern. So whatever the word will come up, I'll tell you a gist about it, I'll highlight it. Might be whenever we have a bigger picture in coming days for you, then it will be very easy to understand. Okay, so all these points are very critical, just security, scalability, and decoupling. So the next part comes is your governance. So right now, whenever you do have some kind of a mashup kind of landscape where system can communicate directly and you never know what data is flowing from or where to each other. So that would be have a problem of having your governance, like what kind of a protocol which should follow between all these three different systems. So okay, so governance will be a challenge. The next point will be your monitoring. So right now, let's say what kind of a data is flowing from one system. So right, let me say an employee record is just going out from this particular CRM system to your HCM. So right now, we'll not be able to monitor the payload exactly because we are making a direct call into the system. So sometimes it's become very much difficult to debug that what exactly is problem with that part. Okay, and the next part is your data manipulation. So right now manipulation can be understood in lot different terminologies. Okay, so might be in case data manipulation might be the most simple example is the date format. So right now every system don't take dd mm some takes dd. Might be you have some kind of a codes in your crm, but for your defining your let's say type like male female, so might be here you declare mf, might be in your scm system you declare 0102. So in case if you want to manipulate and send it according to that particular system, so sometimes it becomes a catch. I know as a developer you will code it or you will hard code it, whatever the response you get from this particular system. But this kind of a things can be addressed using some kind of a your in case if you do have some kind of a middleware. Okay, so right now I have to bring this word middleware. Okay, so now right now there are different business cases we do have it. So right now first we have talked about your cases are important because whenever we are talking about different approach, so we should be very clear on what kind of a things we do have it. So right now in cases is that it's very important that so right now first was our cases point to point. Second is your called mediated, or you might can say a message based. Okay, third part is your cloud to cloud integration. Your next part is cloud to on premise. Okay, your fourth one is are very important, which we will definitely see when most of SAP customers will move into your hybrid kind of a landscape, which is your hybrid usage of cloud and on-premise, let's say solutions. So right now these are the different cases when we just talk about integrations. So first one is your point to point. So I think point to point communication is clear to people right now that this is possible, yes. But right now what are the different problems we do faces for your point to point. Okay, so right now might be your next is uh, we talk about your message base or slash mediated. So right now what happens is that once we know whatever the challenges we do see in this particular point to point, so to overcome all that particular bit, so right now what we have done is, let me, so in case if let's say if we have these different systems A, B and your C, and right now what we did is we just try to do a smartness. we had right now new middleware. Okay, so right now what exactly this middleware will do? So middleware will connect these different systems, and whatever the data which they are trying to communicate directly between the systems. So right now what they will do is they will make sure that data should pass through this kind of a systems. So now let me just try to connect this particular system, then through this, then through this. So right now, previously we do have the same systems, your ERP, your CRM, your HCM or SRM, any system you can just mark it. So right now, I'll not call it right now as such CPI. I'll just call a middleware. Let me just little figure it out. So right now, let's say just we do have a middleware in place. Okay. So right now, what happens is in this particular case, whatever the data was flowing directly between the systems, so right now it will just pass through it. Okay. So right now, this is also called as mediated communication, which is typically based on the exchange of messages. So right now we have to take some kind of an examples, and whatever we show this particular data, you say this particular line. So right now in terms of integration, this is called as integration bus. Okay. So whatever the data will flow through that this particular route, this will called as integration patterns. Because just to tell you one more important point, because if we have started with an integration, so there are different kind of a concept. So right now for everything, as we have standards, so we have definitely enterprise integration patterns. So there are different things, standards which are there in integration that you should definitely know in case if you are trying to go for a good architect kind of a position, that which is very much frequently used. Okay. So right now, for in case if we just talk about from integration bus, so right now whatever the message we send from a system A to B, from like your ERP to CRM, so there can be certain steps we can have it which can transform whatever the data which we are receiving, might be from your ERP systems, and might be again based on receiving we can transform it and we can just send back into your other systems. So again there are different kind of a use case can come. So right now there can be a chance that whatever the message we receive from your ERP, it has to go to both the different systems, your CRM and your HCM. So let's think of a case that ERP has some kind of a business partner, and based on some logic, it has to trigger that particular business partner to one of the systems. Okay, else think of right now this particular use case, because it just came directly to me right now. So right now, in case if he has to send that particular, so every time it has to make a two calls to check. But right now, in case if you do have a middleware in place, and based on a certain logic, in case if you have to trigger your business partner to CRM or HCM, you can write that kind of logic in your middleware part. Okay. Second important point comes here is in case suppose you want to have some, so this is called as content based routing. Okay, so I'll just write it. Okay, let me, whatever the new terms I'll have it, I'll just write it here. Might be we can just content based routing. So right now this is whenever we have some kind of a logic, and based on that particular logic determines in your middleware, and based on which the data packet will be sent to your CRM or your HC. Okay, so this is one thing. Might be once you receive your messages, it might has to split into smaller chunks, and might we have to forward to different receiver. So right now there can be a use case that might be whatever the data which is coming from your ERP, we have to break into a chunk, and some data after manipulation we have to pass it to your, we have to send it to your CRM or your HCM system. So this kind of a cases are very much possible. And the integration bus approach makes sure that integration related information and process are centrally maintained, and the tasks such as maintaining and updating your integration software are kept from your integration business application. So right now, whatever the point we have discussed here, so same this kind of whatever the problem we face, we will just try to solve within this particular middleware. So everything will be centrally managed, might whatever the data might be, whatever the from the governance perspective, whatever the software we do have it, everything will be in a single place, which can be well monitored, and you can just easily what you say, you can just kept it outside from these different applications. So whatever the logic as an integration or middleware person, you have to do in this particular bucket, and you keep this applications aside. Okay, so right now you don't have to intermingle the concepts, everything will be done centrally. Okay, so right now when we just talk about paradigm, so there are way good thing about that all your complete this business application integration, or might be you can just call it whatever the customer landscape might be, this time if we do have the concept of middleware, so it will be let's say very loosely coupled, and each individual applications runs independently. So this approach makes your overall business process less error prone and reduce dependencies. Okay, so these are very important points. So let me just put it also. So right now this will be very loosely coupled. That's one thing. Loosely coupled, and so right now and your applications run independently, which in turn make your business process less error prone and reduce your dependencies. Okay, so these are important part. So right now we understand that we have this particular, if we have this middleware concept, so whatever the challenges we faced, security, scalability, coupling, governance, monitoring, data manipulation, all these things will get sorted it out. Okay, so that's why we do have middleware. So right now to challenge whatever the addresses, so we do have a different middlewares in place, your SAP PI, CPI and other. But right now from this word onwards, a middleware we know why do we need it. So I give the name as a CPI only. Okay, so your SAP CPI addresses such integration challenges and approach, and enables you to integrate process that span across different applications, organization or enterprises. Okay, so these are can be application of any kind, non SAP or SAP. So we will just leave it like we can definitely integrate some kind of a non application or SAP application. So right now this tool is not very much rigid till your SAP part. Okay, so right now we do have a different kind of business process which require different means of exchanging message between your connected components. As I mentioned, might be your Facebook system, might be your VWork system, might be your sorry VWork. I think the company was Workday, which I was trying to mention it. Your Salesforce, might be your Oracle, might be your Microsoft. So right now these are the different components can be connected. But the good thing is SAP CPI supports a large number of your enterprise integration patterns. Okay, so right now might be I'll just write this word. I actually have this new keyboard, enterprise integration patterns. So right now this terminology, in case if it's very new for you, I think it's quite important, because we do have a different kind of a uh, uh, your patterns. So right now, for in case if I have to give you one example, so right now as I given you for content based router, in case if sender is connected to your multiple receiver system and the business process require receiver system receives a message from the sender is forward based on some kind of a content logic, might be some content ID or something. So right now that's example of your enterprise integrate enterprise integration pattern. Let me write it. Content based router. So right now, based on some kind of a specific customer ID, you want to make sure your message goes from to CRM or your HCM. So that can be comes under your content based router. Okay. I think the second example which I can give you for your enterprise integration patterns till this particular part, because I'm not going into technicality, I'm just trying to explain you the general meaning and trying to map it to business use case so that you understand that we do have we have this kind of words which we are going to use frequently going forward. So right now, I think the next example which I can give you for an enterprise integration pattern is your splitter. So right, which defines that single messages into which defines that single message is split into multiple partial message that can be processed individually. Okay, might be that can be an example of your table. So right now, let's say in case if you have some kind of employee data, let's say you have 100 employee data coming into a system and you have to process record by record, then in that particular case, we have a splitter. So right now, whenever we use this kind of a terminology, enterprise integration patterns or whatever the examples I've talked about, so this would be across other middleware also, because this is kind of a standard we expect in case of communication is happening in this kind of a business landscape. So this is the standard which every company should use it up. Okay, so this is one thing. So till this point, I hope everyone is clear. In case not, just ask me in case if you have anything, or just put into a chat box. Yeah, I think I have one answer was that I think I've mixed it in the complexity part. So definitely, in case if we are integrating it direct one-to-one communication, so there will be a lot of complexity. So yes, I agree with that particular point. So there are different points we do have. There are ample number of points, but I think we have covered good number of points today in terms of why this P2P communication is not successful. So till this point, anyone has any questions right now? Because we have talked about point-to-point, mediated or message-based communication, and we have to start right now with cloud to cloud, cloud to on-premise, and your hybrid use case of cloud and on-premise solutions. So by this time, in case if anyone has any questions, put into a chat box. Okay, so right now that's fine. I think in case if not, because I think yes, it's quite simple, and I'm happy you're making out the point. So right now, when I say this cloud to cloud integration, so right now this talks about there are different systems we do have it. So right now, let me just draw one standard so that you every time you remember that. So let's say this is one of your cloud applications. Might be this is some other application B, and might be if I draw here C, and might be I just try to take something which is more in terms of your cloud. So right now, let me just take, okay, let me just take this particular part. This is not exactly a cloud, but yeah, we can just try to link it. So right now, let's say in case we have the integration between one of the cloud applications to your another cloud applications. So right now, I think it's quite easy so that you can integrate multiple cloud applications with the help of this particular CPI or your middleware, because right now it has all the kind of functionality which you can easily use and integrate it. I think the best example which I right now I can give you is your C4 HANA, with your success factor part. So right now in your success factor, because you don't have success factor, your service management, like how ticket should be assigned or the service process not there in success factor at all. Okay, it's complete HR system. So right now what exactly SAP has done it? So they have taken your SF, they replicate employee to your uh, C4 HANA system, where actually your service parts take place. Okay, so right now, so this is kind of a cloud to cloud integration, and the beauty of CPI is that we do have a pre-packaged content. I think I've shown you in the demo part also. So right, for this kind of integration, I think CPI is a very good contender, and right now how it is evolving, so this makes a perfect fit for CPI to integrate SAP-based applications. So I'll tell you one more point here, which is very important. Sometimes people ask me right now, CPI is very easy for cloud to cloud integration, but it becomes pain also in case if you have an applications like your Salesforce, you can connect, you can integrate, but not that easy. Workday. Okay, so right now in case if you have to connect, you can easily connect these different applications with the help of a CPI. But in case, because SAP understands their systems flexibility, SAP has it. So in case if you have cloud to cloud SAP application, trust me, SAP CPI is a boon for you. It will become so easy. Might be in case if you want to connect with these days with Caladia's CPQ or your commissions or your Qualtrics, trust me, CPI is an amazing one. Okay, but right now I have seen it, people facing a lot of issues in case if they have to connect with Salesforce or Workday. Okay, so it becomes easy because they do have adapters how they expose the data, but sometimes I feel Salesforce is trying to be more flexible, agile, because that's how they have initially started exposing their APIs, and SP also started this API management topic. But sometimes we do face it. But for cloud to cloud, in case someone asks you how SAP CPIs, then it depends on what kind of a use case we have it. Okay. If it's like your SAP cloud apps, your Salesforce, Ariba, SuccessFactor, your Concur, anything, it's easy. With your third party, Salesforce and Workday, it's possible. So definitely yes. But is it easy? No, we do have challenges here. I'm telling you practically hands-on onto this particular bit. We do have challenges. It's not that kind of a vanilla flow. We do have it. Okay. So that's one important thing about your cloud to cloud integration. So right now, next topic comes into your cloud to on-premise. So right now, I think this is one of the most, and currently this is the only use case I see very frequent. I think 70% cases I see cloud to on-premise, because everyone knows that SAP S4 is S4 on-premise. That's just bread and butter and the core functionalities of your SAP. So right now, because most of the customers are right now onto this particular landscape, and they want to make some kind of a beautiful apps, I'll say, because they are like pretty much fed up with this on-premise S-Pro screens. Okay, so right now let me say, in case if you have some kind of your C4 HANA. Okay, so in case if they have to integrate, might be for your master data or for your, let's say, other apart from master data, might be can be any other. Okay, it can be any other data, transactional data, because everything is possible as such. Okay, so right now let me just draw this particular bit. So right now, this particular cases, SAP definitely is again a champion, because right now they know how exactly their systems are built of. They know like how we can easily expose the data in terms of your SOAP or your in terms of your O data, or in case if you have iDocs, because CPI also supports adapter like iDocs. So right now this kind of a use case is quite simple with your CPI, and this integration is very normal integration. Again, whatever the pre-packaged content SAP has delivered you, it's very easy to attain right now, because with CPI this is quite flexible, and whatever the content, as I mentioned, you can easily extend also. Okay, in case if you want to enhance it, it's quite possible with the help of SAP CPI. So right now this is your cloud to cloud. Okay. Okay. Okay, let me. I think this has changed a particular pattern. Let me just try to see. Really sorry for this particular bit. CPI batch. That. So I hope. Okay, I think it has taken a particular same format. By anyone knows, I'm not sure how this gets into previous format. This is one of catch here. Home is an outline. Let me just try out. Sorry, just give me a moment.
Sham, there is a reset layout is also there, right?
Can you just point me out? I think I'll be happy to change it. Home, which is the one tab it's talking about?
That is the where there is a reset is showing, right? Layout under there is a reset.
Uh,
There itself it is showing in the
Reset.
yeah.
Okay,
Can you
okay.
try that one?
Okay. So this is the one which we do have. Okay, just a minute. Actually, I didn't expect this the first time. This kind of a layout. Just turn it up. I doubt actually for that particular bit. It's like this. Okay, yeah. I'm sure this is not due to this office license. Okay, don't worry. So right now that's fine. Might be we can just add a new one. Might be I can.
Sham, can you go to view? Sham, can you
Sure,
go to view?
sure. Just give me a moment. I don't know why this is.
Go to view. There is option view.
Sure, right. I'm not sure why this is. Might be due to license or what. Okay, let me go to view. Yes. View, we have reading view, normal, notes page. You were saying something in view.
Only normal only it is selected, but it is shown the normal.
This is so that's why I think it's the first time this is happening. Okay, not a problem. So right now we'll just do one thing. We'll not put more time into it. Might be I'll look into it. That's particularly fine. So right now I think we have talked till your cloud to cloud, then your cloud to on-premise. So I think the next one is your on-premise to on-premise. So right now this is next. So might well just merge this PPT later. Nice to come on-premise to on-premise. So right now this is talking about two components which are installed like your on-premise only. So right now SAP has successfully distributed your SAP process orchestration for number of years and continue to do till today also. So SAP PO is a combined combination of two important things. I'll just write it as such. So right now this is a combination of two important things, which is first one is your SAP PI, okay, and which is your process integration. Your second part is your SAP BPM. Right now, this is also very important. In case if you don't know, that's fine. We'll just explain. We have a time for these things also. So right now, SAP PO was very successful. As to be very honest, whatever the market impact it has. So right now, this is kind of a combination of two things: your PI and your BPM. So there are again different names. Some will say, okay, what is XI, what is PI, PO. So right now, just important thing is for your current even on premise to on premise, SAP always suggests your SAP go with SAP PO because it's kind of a combination of this both important components, your PI and your BPM. Okay, sorry, your SAP PI is just a part of SAP PO in an on-premise integration middleware, like what we have in your CPI. Same, it just uses integration bus and addresses your integration challenges. Very simple for your CPI part. And from a use case perspective, having introduced use CPI is definitely choice for your cloud-based integration. But it would be very clear. I really want to emphasize on this particular point that for your SAP PI is your recommended solution for your pure on-premise to on-premise integration. Okay, so I think this is very clear. So now let me just draw you two important scenario what exactly happens in case if we have a cloud-based solution like CPI and in case if we have your on-premise solutions. Okay, so right now let's say we do have your okay. So right now in this particular picture, I'll just draw. I have to write different things. Might be this is a component. This is a component A, or might be let's say you can just call as a system A, and might be what happens is we do have your PI also installed because you know PI as such is your middleware only. Okay, a middleware which is installed onto your customer landscape. Okay, so this is your PI box. This is one solution. Let's say your component A. Let me just try to color it up with something else. Okay, so right now this is one system. Let's say A. This is customer landscape. This is your PI box. So right now let's say this is another solution, let's say B, and this is your another application, this is C. So right now, let's say in case if we have to have an integration, so right now with this particular application using your PI, so this is possible. Okay, so right now there's kind of a difference between your PI and CPI box. So PI will be as such, you really need to install in your client landscape. So this is kind of a client landscape. Might be this is your C4 application or your success factor or your any application, cloud applications. Okay, so in this particular case, your component and PI will be installed locally onto the client landscape. So whatever the, in case if component A and component B has to communicate, so it will be through your PI part. Okay, so A will send a request to PI, both are your in same landscape, and it will pass it to your B. So definitely one thing is for sure, whenever we do have your PI in your own landscape or your customer landscape, transactions are more safety, for sure. In CPI also we do have it, but PI we do have it more, because sometime it happens that might be some kind of third party application or something. They just try to manipulate while sending a request onto a server. So that's why we don't send request to server, we pass it through a middleware. Okay, so it will just acts as a might be a proxy also. Might we'll just talk about the concept of proxy later, but it's very important for that particular bit. So this is your PI landscape as such. Okay, so your okay, so right now might be your next one is your CPI landscape. How does it look like? So I think it's quite normal as compared to your other landscape. So right now what happens is, so right now let me again just draw some things. Again, your customer A, now they have to talk to other applications. Let's say B, or might be here I have to draw it something your customer C. Okay, so right now we do have this kind of a different system. So right now this customer A has to talk with, I should not have written customer, it should be application B, or this should be application C. Okay, so right now in case if you have to communicate using a cloud middleware, which is your CPI, so the beauty is it's not gonna install on your own client landscape. So we have to make sure that this is deployed onto some kind of SAP servers where you don't have to pay for, you don't have to buy some kind of hardware. So it's kind of a more kind of subscription based services. So what will happen is in that particular case, it will talk to your this landscape. Then again going forward, this will talk to your B, and this will be talking to your C part. Okay, so right now, what exactly is the difference between a PI landscape and a CPI landscape? So your PI landscape, you have to install that particular PI installation or that particular middleware you have to install on your landscape. But in compared to your CPI, so your CPI will sit outside your landscape. So that's can be accessed through HTTP or through that your HTTPS or through internet. So right now it sits outside this particular box, and this is how this communication between these two different applications happen. So right now this is kind of a difference between your PI landscape or your CPI landscape. Again, there are so many things. So right now this is starting. I'm just trying to give you a gist. Again, there are a lot of new use cases will come up. Okay, so I hope till this particular point is clear to you. Okay, so right now let me just do one thing. Let me just go to my the last use case. So which is kind of a hybrid one, which is your hybrid use case of cloud and on-premise, sorry, of cloud and on-premise, yes. Nice integration. Uh-huh. So okay, so right now just coming to my last particular bit, which is more kind of your hybrid use cases. So right now, what exactly happens is we do have a different feasibilities which can definitely exist, because right now there can be a chance that SAP has already, or some kind of customers has already made some kind of big investment on their PI box. Okay, but right now they really want to leverage it. Okay, so right now let's say what happens is, so this is the last use case, but I think this again becomes critically important. So right now this is one landscape. Again, there are different applications, A, B, C, whatever you can just understand. So right now we'll just give some kind of a naming. As such, I'll just give it name as A. Just keep it try to simple. This is as B. So right now this is my application, your C, and this is application D. So as we know, we do have living this digital era, so there can be definitely there are so many systems can communicate at the same time to achieve your business goal. So right now, previously, what used to happen is every customer has mostly invested onto their on-premise. So right now, you can say A, B, C here also. Let's not confuse here. So let's say might be your CRM, ERP system, all are here onto their internally their landscape. We do have a PI for middleware so that they can easily communicate. Okay. So right now, this was very much very use case which has been long been there. So right now, as I mentioned, we do have some kind of a cloud system, third-party application, or any SAP acquired other company. So right now, whatever they have used, some kind of your say PI. So right now, let's say A. So right now, just think of a case that we do have on your customer landscape. So this is kind of a customer landscape, and this E and A are different applications which used to communicate. Let me give you more realistic. Let's say CRM, and let me say this is an ERP. So right now, previously, all the customer landscape have their own application installed, your ERP, CRM, and they used to communicate through with the help of your process integration, your middleware part. Okay. So right now, what happens is again we do have some kind of a digital era in which we are living. So there are different applications. We do have it your B, C, and D. So right now, what happens is definitely there is a use case that you can use a cloud middleware and you can easily link it, but that's a one use case. There are different kind of a use case still which are coming it up in which they really want to retain their investment, whatever they have in their PI. So let me just take an example of that particular bit. So right now, suppose we do have this different systems communicating. So might be it can be possible that your ERP and CRM are communicating with the help of your PI. Okay, so right now suppose they have some kind of integration between ERP and CRM, and again whatever we want to make your this is your C4, this is might be your again some kind of success factor application. So right now this particular application want to communicate with your CRM. So right now this is quite feasible that we have this kind of a hybrid landscape where your all the systems will communicate, okay, with each other, having both on-premise middleware and your cloud middleware. Because this particular when you say customer landscape is very much fragmented. I'm not talking about a very small company, so I'm just talking about a Pepsi who have all these different systems here, ERP, CRM, SCM, all are communicating through PI. but right now they want to have some kind of smart mobile apps like your for sales solution. So your CRM can be connected with that particular mobile app with the help of your CPI. Okay, so right now how the data will flow between these different systems. So this is one of the use case for your what do you call as a your hybrid landscape, where we do have cloud and on-premise integration together. Okay, and this is also very common right now. I know this is one thing. There are cases where a CPI also talks to PI and internally they talks to different systems. So there are a lot of combinations we do have, but for your understanding you have to have this particular all the use cases which we have discussed today. Okay, because these are very much common, because these are very common options we do have it. Your, let's say, point to point mediated, your cloud to cloud integrations, cloud to on premise, and hybrid use case of your cloud and on premise. So these are very common and important integration that you should know, so that logically you understand where exactly you can fit your CPI into picture. Okay, somewhere you have to put it a little forcefully, somewhere it's very easy to plug in. Okay, so I hope you understand when you say, when I say hard and when I say easily. Okay, then what exactly is the difference between your PI and your CPI landscape? Then what exactly is your hybrid usage? Okay, so right now these are the different runtime environments we do have it, and might be definitely going forward. We'll be discussing more in terms of your solution, but I hope your understanding is clear. Okay. So let me just do one thing. Let me just put a stop here, guys. In case if you have any questions, you can just feel free to put into a chat box. I do see already questions, but in case if you have it, just put it here. Questions. So right now, let me just do one thing. I see question might be. Let me just go through it. So can you elaborate the use case? I did not get usage of C4 HANA for service. You asked me this question on 8:36. Sorry, man, I really missed that particular time. Every time my chat box is not open because it covers the screen. So whenever I say specific, then only I just open the chat box. So might be in case if you still have the question use case for C4 HANA, just let me know. I can just definitely put it to you. So what?
Yeah, hi, this is Nina.
Yeah, just tell me. Go ahead.
So, during, I guess, one of the example, you're explaining the use case where C4 HANA is used for service. I
Okay.
didn't get that use case actually.
Okay, so right now I was just talking about that particular use case for your success factor. So right now we do have a success factor system as completely for your HR management. So they don't have a kind of any service management. So right now, suppose in case if someone raised some kind of issues in that particular system, how will it get addressed? So right now, success factor has been integrated with your C4 HANA service, where all example your employees will get replicated into your C4 HANA service, and your service process, like since someone sends some mails and tickets gets created, so how should be it should be assigned or who should be working on to it, interaction and all these things. So that particular use case happens into your C4 service. So I'm just trying to give you more kind of a practical examples, so that when I say cloud to cloud, so what are two different clouds and how this communication is happening. So right now that was my point. Is that clear now? So that's definitely business use case.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't get the service part. What exactly service you
Okay.
mean? That's
Okay.
why I was asking.
Hey, thank
But
you.
yeah, the issues which are in that product that will be stored or registered in the C4 HANA. That's what you said, right?
Yes. So right now for service management, they are using that particular solution, and I have done that particular integration also. I think 2 years back, so I know it. So right now, I think the next is what is the difference between your message based and cloud to cloud. So right now, everywhere we don't call it as a message, we say mediated communication. So right now, the communication between different systems is happening through messages. So the right word is mediated communication. Mediated communication, how with the help of a mediator, we do communicate between different systems. So that is the meaning of your mediated communication. So message is your, we talk in terms of your messages, so that becomes your message based communication.
Okay, but I just wanted to know what is the exact difference between, because mediator is there in cloud to cloud as well. Mediator is there in between on-premise to on-premise as well. So what is the difference between these 2 points that you mentioned?
So
That
right now
is what.
both are like little different when you say message based and cloud to cloud. So right now, when I say cloud to cloud, cloud to on-premise, hybrid, so they're talking about different application and where exactly they're setting it up. Okay, when I say message based or mediated, it means like mediated means the right word I should have used is mediated, like mediator kind of a communication which uses kind of approach of integration bus. So right now that's more used message or mediated in all the concepts, although I should have used their word more kind of a mediated one, mediated communication. And what is cloud?
But
Yes, go
that
ahead.
mediator will be there in case of cloud to cloud as well, right?
Everywhere. So right now
So
only,
there is no.
go ahead.
So what you're trying to say is a mediated process is superset and cloud to cloud are part of it or something like that,
Correct,
right?
correct, correct,
Is it?
correct. Yes, they are kind of.
Okay, it's not separate.
No. Yeah, it kind of a subset only because it just tell how exactly the communication has to happen between different applications. If it's a cloud to cloud or cloud to on-premise.
Okay.
Cool. So apart from it, if anyone has any questions. So right now I was just trying to think to start with, to be very honest about your, let's say, for your cloud platform, because might be that would be your next topic. So but we'll do one thing, we'll just try to cover it, might be in the next session, what exactly is your cloud platform applications, then how to start with your how we can install your cloud platform integration, or how to, sorry, start with your cloud platform integration service. Right word is service, because right now we should be using more technical and the right set of words rather than just talking holistically, because that's a platform we are using, subscribing for a service, and how to start with it. Okay, so might be for next session, which is again on your Saturn Sunday. So that will be the topic which I'm going to cover, your cloud platform, then your how you can get your free trial account access for a month, because we do have some kind of a trial counter which you can use it and install that particular bit. Okay, so let me so I think I see one more into chat box. Okay, so right now, yes, same link will work next week, course content. So right now, just one thing, yes, I think one very important point. So for course contenting, I think some people get a link, some people didn't get a link. So don't worry, I will just send you manually where exactly you will be able to see your recorded videos. And because sometimes it takes time to convert them some to more, let's say, with good prints, because sometimes we lose the good quality videos. So just to make sure the quality of videos are high, it takes time to process, and we'll upload as soon as possible. Okay, so yes, so guys, thank you so much everyone for joining it up, and let's just try to connect next Saturday. And in case if you have between questions, please feel free to drop me email. Might be I can just answer it onto the next Saturday only. Okay, because I think we are right in a very initial phase. Okay, so yeah, have a great week ahead, and thank you so much.